There once lived a king who wanted to find the most intelligent man in his kingdom. He organized a contest and invited all the eligible candidates to participate. On the day of the contest, the king addressed them. "You all have heard about my daughter. She's beautiful and kind, and I want her to be happy in her marriage. So whoever solves this riddle will marry her and become the prince or princess of this kingdom. Are you ready?" The candidates nodded eagerly. "All right, let's begin." The king announced the first question. What is always coming but never arrives? What is always present but never here? What is always near but never visible? All the men were puzzled. They scratched their heads, racked their brains, but nobody could answer. Finally, a young man stepped forward. "Your Majesty, I don't know the answer, but I'm willing to try." "Very well," the king replied, "but if you fail, you will be banished from the kingdom." The young man was frightened, but still determined. He left the kingdom and traveled far and wide, searching for the answer to the king's riddle. After many months, he returned, wiser and more mature, and boldly approached the king. "My king, I have the answer to your riddle. What is always coming but never arrives? What is always present but never here? What is always near but never visible? It is tomorrow." The king was astonished. "Tomorrow? Why tomorrow?" "Because tomorrow is always coming, but today is always here. Tomorrow is always present, but today is always now. Tomorrow is always near, but today is always visible." The king was impressed by the young man's wisdom and intelligence. "You are right. You have indeed earned the right to be the princess." And so the young man married the princess and became the prince of the kingdom. The boy who would become the king was not the smartest or most powerful, but his patience and ability to delay gratification made all the difference. A true champion is not defined by their talent or potential, but by their ability to remain focused and committed over time. Do not misunderstand it. Talent helps. It gives you a head start, making the path easier. But the real test is not about the ease of the path, but about what you do when the going gets tough. It is not the absence of challenges that makes a champion, but the presence of challenges that reveals the champion within. You see, the world loves to celebrate peak moments. The Oscars, the touchdowns, the home runs, the medals, the championships. These are the moments we remember. But these moments are the exception, not the norm. Behind each of these peak moments are countless hours of practice, sacrifice, dedication, and yes, discipline. We tend to focus on the end result, the trophy or the prize, but we forget to look at the journey, the sweat, the struggles, and the sheer willpower it took to get there. In the pursuit of excellence, discipline becomes your greatest ally. While talent opens the door to opportunities, discipline keeps that door open. It is the glue that holds your goals together. It is the force that propels you forward when motivation fails. It is the fuel that keeps you going when enthusiasm runs out. It is the compass that guides you through uncertainty. I am reminded of a quote by legendary football coach Vince Lombardi. "It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Life will inevitably knock you down. It is inevitable. Setbacks, failures, rejections, they are the stepping stones on the path to success. The real question is not how low can you go, but how high can you bounce back. Your ability to bounce back is where discipline plays its part. Discipline is not just about doing what you love. It's also about doing what you should, even when you don't feel like it. It is about delayed gratification. It is about sacrificing instant pleasure for long-term fulfillment. As you navigate the complexities of life, remember this: the harder you work, the harder you can play. Discipline allows you to push your limits without regrets. You won't have to look back wondering, what if I had worked harder? Or what if I had stayed focused? You might wonder, how do I cultivate this discipline? How do I turn this abstract concept into a concrete habit? Here are a few thoughts that have helped me. First, set clear goals. Without a target, you're aimless. Write down your goals, break them into smaller steps, and tackle them one at a time. Second, establish routines. Routines provide structure and free up your mental space for creativity and problem solving. Third, Prioritize tasks. Not all tasks are equal. Learn to distinguish between urgent and important, and focus on the latter. Fourth, learn to say no. Saying yes to everything dilutes your focus. Learn to politely decline requests that do not align with your goals. Fifth, reward progress. Celebrate milestones, big and small. Positive reinforcement boosts motivation and reinforces discipline. Sixth, continuously learn. Every setback is a learning opportunity. Analyze your mistakes, adjust your strategy, and move forward. Seventh, surround yourself with the right people. Your network should inspire and support, not distract or discourage. Finally, above all, cultivate self-awareness. Understand your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and habits. Self-awareness is the foundation of self-discipline. Remember, the ability to delay gratification is the cornerstone of self-discipline. In a world that constantly bombards us with instant entertainment, instant gratification, and instant feedback, delaying gratification is a counterintuitive superpower. It is the ability to resist the immediate and invest in the future. It is the difference between wanting and committing, between impulse and intention. Cultivating this discipline is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong journey. It is about aligning your actions with your values, your goals, and your aspirations. It is about becoming the architect of your own life, where every decision, no matter how small, contributes to the masterpiece that is your future. As you embrace the path of delayed gratification, you equip yourself with a unique advantage, the ability to shape your future according to your vision, not the whims of the moment. In doing so, you transform from a passive participant in life to an active creator of your destiny. So I encourage you to pause for a moment and reflect. What are you waiting for? What doors do you hope to unlock? What dreams do you wish to realize? It's time to act. It's time to show up. It's time to push past the I want to and step into the realm of I commit to. In the timeless words of Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find out whether you can trust somebody is to trust them. Trust yourself, trust your vision, and trust the power of delayed gratification. Let me tell you another story. There once was a woodcutter who worked in a lumber mill. He was a hard-working man, but he was not very skilled. One day his boss gave him a new assignment to cut down a very tall tree. The woodcutter thought for a moment. He knew that cutting down such a big tree would take a lot of time and effort. He could either do it quickly and mess it up, or take his time and do it right. The woodcutter decided to take his time. He sharpened his saw, tied a rope around the tree, and prepared to make the first cut. He knew that this was the most important cut, because it would determine the stability of the whole tree. The woodcutter took his time and made the perfect cut. He repeated this process until the tree fell to the ground. When his boss saw the perfectly cut logs, he was amazed. He couldn't believe that the woodcutter had managed to cut down such a large tree without damaging it. "How did you do it?" he asked. "I just took my time and did it right," the woodcutter replied. The boss was impressed. He realized that it wasn't the woodcutter's strength or his saw that made the difference, but his patience and attention to detail. From that day on, the woodcutter became the most trusted employee in the lumber mill. People came from far and wide to see how he worked and to learn from his patience and attention to detail. The woodcutter understood that sometimes it's better to slow down and do things right than to rush and mess up. It doesn't matter if you are a woodcutter, a student, an athlete, or an artist. If you want to achieve excellence, you need to be patient and pay attention to detail. This is a lesson in delayed gratification. The woodcutter didn't just cut down the tree for the sake of doing something. He cut it down because he had a purpose. He wanted to make the best possible logs. This purpose gave him the motivation to be patient and do the job right. The woodcutter teaches us that the secret to success lies in our ability to control our impulses and focus on our long-term goals. Do not misunderstand it. Discipline is not about being rigid or obsessive. It's not about denying yourself all pleasures or procrastinating on happiness. Discipline is about balance. It's about finding harmony between your dreams and your actions, between your desires and your responsibilities. It's about creating a life that is not only successful, but also fulfilling. So I leave you with this challenge. Embrace discipline, not as a restriction, but as a tool. A tool that shapes your character, strengthens your resolve, and opens doors to your fullest potential. Let it be your companion on the journey towards excellence. Remember, the trophies are great, but the discipline that got you there is even greater. The applause is deafening, but the quiet satisfaction of a job well done is even more rewarding.